Hey guys, it's Monica. Welcome back. You may wonder, Monica, what are you doing? Why are you speaking in full English? Actually, this year I want to do something new because in last year, 90% of my videos about English teaching itself. And this year, I want to challenge myself to make videos with versatility and show you guys more personal side of myself. Growing up in a poor family, my family never had a lot of extra money. But weekly excursion to the library made me feel showered in riches. So here I am presenting my top 5 books of year to you guys. And in order to save your time, I've already concluded 3 most important lessons I've learned from each book, so you don't have to do it. And I'm also gonna to rate each book at the level of difficulty and the usefulness. So take it as a reference, and if you are interested, you may probably go and read it. Just one more thing, this video is in full English, but I will put the English subtitles right here and probably highlight some of the important phrases and words. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first book is The Defining Decade. Most of you may probably heard of capital, but what is identity capital? Identity capital is a collection of personal assets. These are the investments that we made in ourselves. Most importantly, identity capital is what we bring to an adult marketplace. It's like the currency we use to metaphorically purchase jobs, relationships, and other things in our life. It would be better to develop your identity capital as soon as possible if you don't want to get lost on your career, your job, and graduation stuff. But like other forms of identity capital, such as how you speak, the networks you build are also important to accelerate your path to where you want to be. After learning this concept, I started my own YouTube channel because I thought it would be a perfect way to establish my own identity capital. So we all have different choices to make. You have to find your own identity capital and start developing now because it takes time and efforts to do it. As the proverb said, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best is now. So the second things I learned from the book is there's no formula for a good life. There's no right or wrong life. There's only choices and consequences. You are what you chose and you're what you did. There are no certainties, no guarantees in your life. You have to claim your own adulthood. Being a student at school, you have your teacher and your parents to guide you through the right way and make the right choice, tell you what to do and what not to. But being an adult, you have to make your own decisions, you have to make your own choice, you have to be your own parents. Every choice comes with relative consequences. So while you're enjoying the right to choose and pick your path, it also comes with the responsibility and the consequences that you need to carry through. There are 2 mindsets. One of them is called the fixed mindset, and the other is growth mindset. Those we use what we call the growth mindset believe that people can change and success is something that can be achieved. Maybe it's not the case that any person can be anything like Superman, Invisible Man, One Punch Man. No. But it's still true that within a certain perimeters, people can learn and grow. After learning this concept, I believe that people with growth mindsets, failures still sting, but they are also viewed as opportunities for improvement and change. So in terms of difficulty, I would rate it 6 to 7 out of 10 because there are many case studies. And usefulness, I would rate it 8 out of 10. I truly recommend this book to everyone, whether you are in your 20s, 30s, it just doesn't matter. This book has provided me a provocative thought and another perspective of thinking, my life and what I'm gonna do in my future. I'm gonna change it to another scenes. I love the sunset. So the second book that I recommend is The Unfair Advantage. How you already have and what it takes to succeed. Unfair advantage is the skill that you have as your own unique talent. Life isn't fair. Of course, we knew about that. Life is too random and arbitrary to balance out, and that means we don't have the same opportunities. But it's not about knowing the negatives, it's about knowing the realities and leveraging your own unfair advantage to live our best lives. Hard work, grit, perseverance are the main elements for success. However, success also comes from identifying and leveraging the elements which are outside of your immediate. And this is what we call the unfair advantage. What I have shared in this video at least, it's not always about working hard, it's about working smart. In terms of difficulty, 7 out of 10, and usefulness, 8.5 out of 10. The third book that I recommend is The Road Less Traveled. I've probably mentioned it a couple times before in my channel, and I always quote from the book. Life is always difficult. It has never been easy. Most people, when they are facing difficulties, they just tend to avoid the problems or the hurdles that makes us feel suffering and hurt us. But let us change our mindset. It is the pain and the suffering caused by difficulties in life that we have to face in order to help us grow mentally and spiritually. In other words, we couldn't solve life problems except by solving them. Delayed gratification requires a person who need to reach a certain level of psychological maturity. It's not only about discipline. Of course, this is really important, but it's also about impulse control, self-regulation, patience and stuff. Now, instead of just focusing on the negatives, I tend to focus on my task. I knew it's difficult, it's suffering to still keep, pushing yourself and do the things that you have to do, but to be honest, no one's gonna finish your task. You are the one who makes the move. The last important lesson I learned from the book is spiritual growth. So in the previous two books, we talk about the growth mindset, but the spiritual growth is the most difficult and important one. It's human nature to feel lazy. We want to just do the easy thing. Because when you are doing something suffering but useful, it is conducted against your natural resistance, against a natural inclination to keep things the way they are. When we are trying a new thing, we tend to cling on the old maps and the old ways of doing something and choose the easy path. The most important takeaways is when you guys facing difficulties, try to think it in a positive way. Think about it not only as a problems or something you feel scared about, but it's a spiritual elevation. You utilize every single of your own life experience to think and to evolve into a higher consciousness. I would rate The Road Less Traveled. In terms of difficulty, I guess 7 out of 10. In terms of usefulness, 10 out of 10. It is like a must read on my bookshelf, and I highly recommend literally everyone to read it. You won't regret it.
Hello， 大家好，錄到一半發現呢條影片太長，所以咧我哋下次再去講。最後咧我都唔記得咗錄啦，所以好多謝大家睇到呢一度，咁我哋下次再見，拜拜。